What's poppin', everyone? It's No Money's here, back with another video, and today we got some Dreadbloon cave, and I would have live commed this, but there's construction going on outside my house, so you would have heard a lot of drilling, so I didn't want to record any commentary. But now we got post-game analysis, and we got Mr. Masters here. Judging by his profile and the strategy he was going, there was no way he was going to survive around 13 all out. He didn't show me his fourth, but I feel like this guy would have had turtle micro. But I guess I'm grateful that he didn't have tack. I definitely should have sent camos in there, but I was like, this guy's definitely a noob. So I just all-outed him. And yeah, his profile wasn't that good, and he was going Wiz, so I was like, I'm just going to all-out him. And for our second opponent, we got Unbanned Nate. This guy is a friend of mine. His account got banned, so that's why his name is Unbanned Nate. And I choose to go Heli Farm Village. It is a strat that I haven't won in a long time. Yeah, as you can see, I chose Ice, and I was thinking if I should go Ice or Village. His profile is not that bad. Just kidding, it's a 68%, but which is not that great. It looks like a clean profile because it's like 3 digits and 2 digits, but it's actually only alright. And Heli Farm Village, you will lose if they anti-stall round 1. Like, that's it. If they anti-stall round 1 and they're aggressive against you, then you pretty much lost. So every time you go Heli, you just pray that they don't anti-stall. But that's why every time I go Tack Wiz, I always anti-stall, because it doesn't hurt Tack Wiz that much since it is meant to be an aggro strategy. Any Heli strategy is meant to be a passive strategy. So how you start out is you get up 0-0 farm, upgrade it to 1-0 as soon as possible, send 2 sets of blues before round 2 starts, or before 30 seconds game time, and you'll be able to afford a heli pilot on 47 seconds game time, as long as they don't anti-stall, with all the bananas and everything. So it shows that he's going tack, and on Dreadbloon people usually go tack or wizard. I assume wizard, and as you can see, he's going wizard. I cut out all the boring parts, but to be honest, he did not play this very well, because if they're going heli, you gotta be super aggressive right away. This guy was not aggressive. You can see that we have pretty good farms, and round 10 rush isn't gonna do anything. You only want to send on round 11, and on round 11 you want to send a regen lead followed by a bunch of group whites to either force defense or force a boost. And as you can see, that is what he's doing. He's balloon boosting, so I'm like, oh shoot, and I choke placing my heli, and I have to upgrade to a quad darts as well as get monkey fort, and with a little bit of micro we're able to defend. And I was like, okay, he spent all that money on that white rush, so he's not gonna have enough money for a dragon's breath. And yeah, I sent that in hopes to force a dragon's breath, and he also sold his tag, which is very good. And in usual circumstances I would send around 14 rush layered in with the yellow AI just to hide it, but since I'm going heli, I want to play passive, and I see that he has lightning on his wizard, so that's another $1,200 that went into his defense and not on his farms. And with the monkey fort and a razor rotors and a 1-0, and as well as good targeting with the heli, you're able to defend most bait rushes. If they do send a humongous rush, you can upgrade to a razor rotors. And because he wasn't aggro enough early game, I'm able to get up around 14 BIA, which is perfect. That pretty much secures the game in the bag. And as you can see, he's balloon boosting, and I'm like, okay, what is he sending? He's sending zebras and sending whites, sending pinks. I'm like, okay, with some good microing, I can defend. It looks kind of spooky here, but we do have 2 spikes. I use those, and we're big chillin'. And because of that, we're able to afford 2 razor rotors, and 2 razor rotors under a monkey village fort is super OP. As you can see, with a little bit of microing, we're able to solo that round 16 layered rush with regen leads. That's why he's surprised. So as long as you get up a BIA, you're pretty much winning the game. And he's surprised. He's thumbs downing. I can be aggro here, but that's what I plan to do. But it's no point in aggroing round 17. He's mad, bro. He's mad. He's thumbs downing. He's mad. He's being mad annoying right now, to be honest. So it's round 18. I'm waiting to layer the AI rainbows with the LEDs, but he's balloon boosting, and he sent a hefty rush. There's a lot of regen rainbows in there, but with another heli pilot under the monkey fort, we're able to solo that rush even without a tower boost. So he's mad, bro. He's mad because bad. And he's thumbs downing because he knows he lost this game. After we get this BIA, we're pretty much got the game in the bag. And as you can see, he has no defense, but I'm too busy defending on my side. So I'm like, okay, he's still rushing me. I gotta make sure my helis don't choke. They attack the balloons. So I'm just gonna wait till round 20 to rush. And as you can see, he's sending a lot of grouped leads and zebras in hopes to overwhelm my rotors, but none are getting through. He's mad. He's thumbs downing. He has a really high eco, but he doesn't have good farms, so he's not going to be able to defend the BFB very reliably. He's going to have to sell his farms, and he doesn't have that many to begin with, so he's going to get really drained. He's sending me one, I assume, because BFB defense for a heli is really expensive, so he sells all his farms. He's mad because bad. You do not need 2 phoenixes and a boost. You need 1 phoenix, and with good maelstrom timing, you don't even need a second boost. So Nate is mad because bad. He was thumbs downing the whole game, and I'm laughing at him now because he was thumbs downing me. And round 21, I'm gonna send him another one because he did sell all his farms and boost, so I'm gonna make him do it again. And as you can see, I have 19k cooked up. I should have just cashed it out at that round, and I saw all my other helis that's not my Apache to get up a second farm because my BIA was already cooked. And he's thumbs downing me because he lost this game. He's so mad, man. And yeah, as you can see, we got that early BIA, which allowed us to get all these farms in the late game. It's almost round 22. I really want to afford my factory before round 22 because round 22 is one of the fastest rounds. So you get, if you upgrade a factory before round 22 starts, then you'll get all the factory income really quickly. As I can see, he has 1 republic. He has no farms. This guy's super drained. I don't know why he sold his farm, but yeah, Nate pretty much lost this game. And as you can see, he just dies to AI, so he didn't play that game very well. You have to play super aggro. And in the second game, I rematched him because he's a subscriber, so I was like, why not? He is, again, I think he's a quote-unquote tryharding because he's going NFE, and everyone thinks NFE is the most broken strategy in the game, but there are ways to circumvent this strategy. Round 13, I'm getting defense because he hasn't farmed in a while, and I'm very sketchy about that. But apparently, this guy just goes AFK because he's in school right now, which is really stupid. And I was just like, he's not farming, so I'm really worried about a rush. And he was messaging me on Discord. He was like, oh, my teacher's collecting my homework or whatever. And I was like, that's kind of dumb. But I didn't know this until like later in the game. Right now, I'm just assuming. As you can see, I'm getting ready to place down another heli and boost in case he all outs. But because he only has 2 farms. And then he gets a ninja. I'm like, okay, he is here. He just sold everything. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? He sold all his farms to get 1.5 Bloons Tubers. I'm like, bro, what is this guy doing? And I realized later that's because he can't really play right now. And I think that's kind of dumb because if you're going to play Dreadbloon, I think you should allocate some time to play. And I show myself getting around 16 BIA and nothing else happens because he's AFK, which is dumb. I'm saving money because I'm preparing for him to send a BFB because he has literally no farms. He has 3 Bloons Tubers and a Bloon Trap. And I think he gets back from his class or whatever. I Bloon boosted BFB. He's dead. So I don't know why he would rematch me if he couldn't play. Like, if you're gonna play Dreadbloon, then like make sure you have time to play, you know? Like, if you're in school and if you can't pay attention to the game, then just don't play the game. You might as well pay attention in school. Like, I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. So I mean, it's either like he can defend this BFB, and if he does, it doesn't really matter because he's drained anyway. He has no farms, and I have a whole BIA cooking up, and I'm gonna farm on, but he's gonna die to this BFB. And I think it's stupid. If you're gonna play Dread, then make sure you can play. Don't like play in the middle of class or anything. We got our next opponent, Jerry B123, and I was like, this guy doesn't look that great. I was thinking about going NG's Factory, but I'm gonna make this a Heli Village video. This was like one of my favorite strategies, but since I was grinding last week, I didn't really get a chance to play any other strat other than Tac Wiz. So this is the start. If they anti-stall round 1, we lost, but they don't, which is very nice. That's why I'm happy. I'm thumbs upping. So we're gonna get our farm, We're gonna place our farmer in a way that it hides how much money we get. We get up a 1-0. We don't spike because I want to save spikes for the balloons that they send. We send 2 sets of blues, and we'll be able to afford a heli on 47 seconds game time. So he does have engineer. So I'm saying nice, because if we take it late game, then we beat NFE every time. I don't care how good your micro is, you will not beat heli in a late game. So I'm choking my heli placement. We leak more lives than we should. That's why I say haha. But with heli, after you get up your 1-0 farm and you send 2 sets of blues, you don't want to send any more until you get your plantation. Because as you can see shortly, he actually gets a plantation, which is really good on his part because he's going heli. And I bloom boost. I don't think this is a play. In hindsight, this is a terrible play, because I should just save it for my plantation. But I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be able to afford it on the next eco boost anyway. But I could have gotten an eco boost earlier, and I thought I was gonna force more defense than a 1-0 and a 0-0, but I guess I didn't. So I should have just been more passive and not bloom boosted it. Just send a couple, but he did get up the sentry guns, and sentry guns can sell against space balloons. So he got up the farm. He got it up like a couple of seconds before us. We get up a 1-0 now, and I have to get ready for round 6 blacks and or greens. But since he's going NG, I believe he's not going to go that aggro with group greens. Bloom boosted blacks are easier to defend, especially if they're on round 6, because they are not layered in with the round 7 AI. And I do force a second NG on his side, and I don't send any more because I would spend a lot of money just to force a little bit more of defense. And with such a passive strategy, it's not really worth it. So I say nice because he got up his plantation. I'm going to get one soon, but our defense is significantly more expensive. So I send him a little bit of blacks just to force some stuff. Because I'm not able to afford a plantation or another farm. But as you can see, I could have afforded it if I didn't send those blacks. And he's farming on, so since I want to be passive, I'm farming on as well. And another thing about getting a farm is I'm daring him to send yellows. And because he's going NG, he can't really afford to send yellows because he has to afford a balloon trap by around 10. So by going for a farm, 1, I'm greeding, and 2, I'm daring him to send yellows, but he doesn't, which means my greed is paying off. He's getting a plantation, which I don't. He's getting another farm. Wow, this guy's super greedy, which I don't think is the play, because he's gonna need a balloon trap. And I have the same amount of farms, but I feel like he's gonna have to send because he doesn't even have a cleansing foam up yet. So he's definitely gonna leak. And if I was not going heli, I would have sent like grouped whites to probably force a boost. And I think it's still worth, even if you are going heli, but I didn't want to be too aggro because I could definitely lose to an all-out round 13. Oh my god, that was my cat. Anyway, he's leaking. Round 12, I have a heli and a village with a fort. The village and the fort is so expensive, as well as placing down another heli. That's why we have to really get a hard in farms before round 13 so that we can prepare to defend. He bloom boosts a tiny regen with Rainbow Rush, but he bloom boosted it and I got a little bit worried. So decided to sell my farm. It wasn't worth dying. And we are sitting pretty right now. We do have one less farm, but if I do sell that Razor Rotors, then we'll be chilling. I just want to make sure I can fit a farm in that space. It's round 14. We only have 2 farms, but I was planning on selling that heli because we still have a lot of money to work with for a rush. And we do greed really heavily, but he only has 4 farms. I'm getting ready to place down a heli just in case he does send a rush, which he does. Now I'm placing my Razor Rotors over the leads and then having my quad darts clean up. And he's still sending a lot of regen leads, and I'm very worried. I actually wait to the end of round 15 to cash out, and then I place down a heli and then boost. This way, all my helis are boosted, as opposed to boosting and then placing down a heli, because then my third heli isn't boosted. And I waited to the end of the round to cash out because you get an interest boost at the end of the round. If I cashed out immediately, then I would have had way less money to work with. So that's what I did. And I successfully gotten up an early BIA with a boost remaining. But he decided not to be aggro, but his regen lead rush was super expensive and he pretty much drained himself. So that's why I wasn't really worried too much about a rerush. Unless he sold all his farms and all out it, in that case, I could have just cashed out and or sold my VIA and he would have been drained at that point. As you can see, 2.5 rotors will solo a mob very easily with no problem, even with leads. And it's round 19 coming up. I'm not being too aggro against them because I want to be able to afford an Apache for round 20. And since I'm gonna have to cash out anyway, I get up a plantation because we're gonna need to farm on just a little bit. We are definitely gonna send him a BFB, I think. But I'm gonna send one after he sends me one because I want to make sure that I have enough money. That's my thought process going into round 19, going into round 20. Psych, I actually sent a BFB because I don't care. I actually do have a lot of money on hand. I have 1,700. I have like a lot of money in my helis with selling power. I can also cash it out. I also sent him one to make him busy so that he doesn't send me one. He can't even afford Sabo yet. It's already about like 1/4 of the way through the map. And he does have a balloon trap at the front. And he didn't even send me one, so I'm letting my BIA cook up a little bit more, which means I get a lot more money from it. It's at 14k right now. And I'm setting space cameras just in case that the balloon trap doesn't catch it. And like, it doesn't really hurt me that much, and it would hurt him a lot if it gets through. But as you can see, he has multiple balloon traps. He does tower boost, so he'll be able to defend. But since I've sent him a BFB, he didn't send me one, which means that my BIA was able to cook up to a full 20k, which is very nice. I got my 3 helis, and look, the BIA is about 16k, so next round we cash it out, we get a 4-2, and we're sitting real pretty. And you do have the ceramics coming out, so I upgrade to another rotors just to defend. And look at his farms. His farms are in shambles. He actually sells for a factory, so I send his EMG. And usually you don't want to do that because if you just take it late, you win. But I knew this guy wasn't going to defend his EMG, so I wanted the easy win. But if you guys do want to play it safe, you should not. Also, just a tip for NFE, if you get a factory, you should save enough for a perma Sabo, because if you perma Sabo with a ZMG, it is very possible to defend. But if you do not perma Sabo, you pretty much lost, because also round 23 is one of the longest rounds in the game, not including late game. So that means you're going to get your money from your factory way quicker than on round 22 and round 24, which is one of the fastest rounds. In those rounds, you'll get your crates like they're flying out. But as you can see, he had to sell his factory. I'm swagging on him because that's GG's. And I'm sending him space camelets just in case they get by. But he is no way defending that. I sell my farm. I sell my heli just to get up an Apache. And I sell my BIA at this round because it's round 24, so you get bananas really quick. So I cashed it out, sold my BIA because our eco's already trash. And I wanted as much money just in case he sent me a counter rush. And for this strategy, for ZMGs, you just need like, maybe 2 Apaches and like a 2-1 village, and that'll be fine. But this guy has no more farms, he has no more boosts, and he's dead. That's a GG's. If you guys do enjoy this type of content, like post commentaries and or regulars, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And when he's cashing out, peace.